So interview time, you're probably nervous. I would be too. But what I try to do when I have to interview or when I tell my students is be excited instead. Before you go in, instead of feeling the nervousness of they're going to judge me and what are they going to ask me, and give yourself a pep talk basically and remind yourself how much you want this and how much you love the art. Remind yourself how hard you've been working on your stuff. Feel excited about it and bring that energy to the interview. Show them how much you want it. And if you are nervous and if you're sort of stumbling a little, you could use that to your advantage a bit. You could twist it around to say, oh, I feel so nervous because this matters so much to me. And I've worked so hard on this. I know there's so many excellent students that apply to your school, and that's why I wanted to apply. I want to be studying with the best. When you say it that way, it shows them how dedicated you are. Always turn a negative into a positive if you can. Really focus on your strengths. Like as I get to know students and I see their work, and it's really interesting, but then when they tell me about it, there's amazing ideas behind their work that isn't necessarily immediately evident. If you've gone a few projects that have really interesting ideas behind them, make sure you tell them about that. Get in there, some of those thoughts behind it. They'll really see how intelligent you are, what a great conceptual thinker you are, because universities like that kind of stuff. It might be a good idea to think about some questions you might want to ask them too. Part of the decision isn't just are they going to pick you, you're picking them because you've applied to multiple schools, and which school is the one that feels right to you. So it might be kind of interesting to try asking a question to the professor while you're there, see how they answer and if you're happy with what you're hearing. And then it shows them how serious you are. I think you should practice. You get comfortable with talking about your work. Don't apologize for your work, never do that. I noticed a lot of students are kind of unsure about their work and they'll say, oh, it isn't quite done, but just don't do any of that. Just talk about the work without any apologies. Even just talking to your parents or talking to a friend, see if your art or tech teacher would go through a role-playing interview with you. If you want to make a session with me where you can present your portfolio online to me and tell me about it, and I can ask you questions, give you some tips of what I would like to hear from a student, so we could go through a role play, that will really help gather your ideas a bit before you go in. And one of the other tips from a student that they told me, while you're waiting to go into the interview, act like you're aware and keen and interested. She was really kind of dismayed and surprised how disinterested people looked. And they're just texting on their phone, lounging around, and they looked really bored and lazy, and she didn't think that boded well for them. She said they'll stand up straight and look excited and talk to the people around you. So contact me at portprep1@gmail.com and ask to have a private session with me, and we could do a mock interview. I just use Google Hangouts. It's really easy right from home. You can talk with me, show me your work with screen share, and we can talk live. And I'll pretend, I'm the famous school you want to get into. They're in such a crunch right now, and there's, portfolios, there's a lot of them due in the next week or in the next couple of days. It's just a lot of work.